Hello and welcome to Netties Shells craft boxes. In this video I'm going to show you how to make your very own dotty mandala type scallop shell. Just like these, using one of my very handy craft boxes which has everything inside that you need to make these lovely shells and many more. Let's go ahead and open up the box to see what we have inside today. As always, you have my card on top to share me with your friends and family. There are two sets of papers in this one. One will be your instructions and one is a printout guide to give you examples of the dotty shells for you to follow, or you can always come up with your own designs, which generally is what happens every time I do one. Okay, you also have two shells. My giant scallop shells, which have already been boiled clean for you. Dowels. You get a 1/4 inch dowel, an 1/8 of an inch dowel, your paintbrush. You get your cocktail sticks in here, 3 of those, and you get your 3D pearl paint to use at the end, which I love. It gives it a nice 3D effect and adds a little bit of bling to the shell. Then also inside you get these lovely big pots of paint, 10 pots to be precise, your greens, your blues, pink, purple, black and white, and red and yellow. So lots of colour choice to choose from when making your shell up. So let's clear all this away. I'll change my camera into the downward setup and I will take you through making these two gorgeous shells. Okay, we have everything that we need ready to start painting our mandala shells. You've got your 2 dowels here, 2 different sizes, 3 cocktail sticks, your 10 different base colours, your 3D pearl paintbrush, and 2 of your giant scallop shells. You'll also need a cup of water and a bit of kitchen towel to dry your brush and your dowels off onto. So in the pack I have included a few example shells if you want to follow those patterns, or if you want to make up your own pattern, it's completely up to you. So again, working on a surface that can be cleaned, is wiped clean, you're not going to damage your surface if you get paint on it. Go ahead and we're going to start putting on the base coat. Use your big brush to paint on this coat. I'm actually going to follow one of my designs that I've put in the box. What's lovely about these shells is you can see they have kind of a guideline on them already to follow. That's just the way that they've grown naturally. Now then, in this whole craft session there's a lot of drying times, so I actually use a hairdryer to speed up those drying times. Obviously be careful not to push the paint around when you are drying, because you don't want to smudge your dots. There you go. Let this dry. Again, you can use a hairdryer once you've given them a little bit with a hairdryer, or you've left them in the sun to dry. Your base coats, we are ready to start with the dotting. I always recommend to start with the biggest dots first, normally because we graduate from the bigger dots down to smaller ones on top of these. So take your largest dowel, figure out which colour you would like to use. I'm following one of my patterns a little bit on there. So it looks like we're going for the darker purple to begin with, which is quite nice. Dip the end into the paint, get a nice amount of paint on there, not too much there, and then follow around your lines. Dotting all the way. Okay, when you are ready to change colour, all you need to do is give it a wash like you did with your paintbrush and give it a wipe on the kitchen towel. Okay, then you're ready to go for another colour. I think I'm going to do some light pink on here. Okay, I want to graduate down from the big dot into a smaller dot, but still bigger than this one. So when you go to press, just don't push all the way, okay? Just let the paint touch and come away a little bit sooner, that way you get a smaller dot. I've been using the large dowel to put on the larger dots to begin with. If you wanted to graduate to a bit of a smaller dot, just don't push quite so hard with the dowel, just let the paint come off before you push all the way. Right, I just wanted to do a few more on this one with the big dots. I think my camera just turned off, which is why. Move down onto our smaller 1/4 inch dowel now. So go ahead, once your dots are dry, you can dot over the top. Mine aren't quite dry yet, so I'm going to do all the ones that are out on their own around. Smaller dowel size done. Again, you can leave that to dry on your paper. You'll be able to use that again. Now it's time for the teeny weeny dots. There's going to be a lot of these ones, so generally bring your paint over to where you're painting. Managed to use my dowels and the cocktail sticks to make your dotty mandala shells, graduating from the larger dots down to the smaller dots. Just remember to let the dots dry before you go on top of them with a smaller stick. If you want a size in between what I've given you, just use the larger one, but do not push all the way, as you might have seen me when I was finishing off at the end there. I went back to the larger stick and just didn't push quite so hard. That way I got a nice graduation from the larger dots here out to the smaller dots on the outside. Now then, also in the craft box I have given you some 3D pearl effect paint. I say to use this at the end to fill in any last dots. This will give a nice sort of 3D, almost like a jewel effect on the shell. This takes, I'd say, a good 12 to 24 hours to dry. So do this at the end, otherwise you might end up smudging it. So you can open that up and add this on any way you like. You can make a pattern or self off then. I was just showing you this lovely 3D pearl paint, which I give you in my craft boxes. Go ahead and pop this on at the end. Once this dries, it goes rock hard and gives you a nice, they almost look like little pearls on your shells. I love this. Sometimes on my shells before I've actually used this to start with and then built up all the dots around the pearl paint. Again, make this up as you go along. You can put it anywhere you like. This one, I filled this one up quite a lot. I'm not sure where I can even fit this one on. I haven't really done much blue. There's not a lot of blue on here, so I might just do a very tiny bit around the edge. I guess it blends in with the purple quite nicely. This stuff's fantastic for all your other craft projects too. We went a bit dotty mad on this one, I must say. I love it. Ta-da! Right, leave those to dry before you place them out somewhere where people can touch them. That's it for now. I'll take you back to the... Okay, congratulations, you have followed my step-by-step guide and you've made your very own gorgeous dotty mandala shells. They may look like this, they may look like something else. Every single shell is generally unique. Feel free to experiment too with doing the inside as well as the outside. I find the outside's a little bit easier to get your dowel down onto, but experimenting is always fun. Thank you for watching my video. These boxes are now available on my website www.nettiesshells.com. Otherwise, click below to subscribe to my YouTube channel for all of my new craft boxes, which are coming out very soon. Bye for now. Show. You can have them like that, have them like that, have them like that, have them like that.